That's not your money problem. That's your God problem. You've been taught that money is the root of all evil. You've been told that wanting more is greedy. And while you pray for financial breakthrough, you secretly sabotage every opportunity, held back by a fear you can't quite name. It's time to stop treating your wallet like it's the issue, because your relationship with money is a direct reflection of your relationship with the King. Let's dive deep into the spiritual and practical shifts you must make right now to align your finances with God's kingdom purpose. Confronting the poverty spirit. The very first step to fixing your relationship with money is to expose the unseen force that is keeping God's people bound, the poverty spirit. This is a dangerous, deceptive enemy, not the blessed, poor in spirit that Jesus spoke of, but a counterfeit that attacks your mind and actions. It is the spiritual root of financial anxiety, telling you lies like, God is not big enough to provide for that, or if you get rich, you'll lose your soul. This is a lie designed to keep you small, stagnant, and ineffective for the kingdom. This spirit keeps you locked in cycles of debt and consumption, always focused on lack instead of provision. Look at Proverbs 13:18. Poverty and shame will come to him who disdains correction, but he who regards a rebuke will be honored. The poverty spirit often manifests as a refusal to receive instruction, a subtle pride that says, I know what I'm doing, while living paycheck to paycheck. You must first declare by faith that you are an heir to the King, and the King's children do not live in spiritual or material destitution. Reject the guilt that comes with wanting to build something great for God. Money is a spiritual tool. To break free from that poverty mindset we just confronted, you must fundamentally change your definition of money. Money is not just paper and coin. It is a neutral tool, an essential resource in the earthly economy, and a primary instrument for kingdom expansion. When you see money as evil, you subconsciously repel it, ensuring you never have enough to do what God has called you to do. The Bible is clear. The love of money is the root of all evil, 1 Timothy 6:10, not the money itself. Think of the woman Lydia in the book of Acts. She was a dealer in purple cloth, a high-value luxury trade. Her successful business was the very platform that allowed her to host Paul and the early church and facilitate the gospel spread in Philippi. Her wealth was a kingdom asset. You need to shift your perception from money is a necessary evil to money is a measurable unit of transferred value and a spiritual tool for blessing. Your relationship with money is therefore a stewardship assignment. If you refuse to manage $100 well, why would God entrust you with $100,000 to steward for His purposes? Your dangerous money beliefs. Your breakthrough is being blocked by false doctrines and limiting mindsets you carry about success. Let's get very specific. One dangerous belief is the over-spiritualized waiting, the idea that you just have to pray and do nothing else. The Bible is full of applied principles. Proverbs 21:5 states, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." Diligence is action. Another dangerous belief is that debt is normal. This mindset ignores the warning in Proverbs 22:7 that the borrower is servant to the lender. You can't be a free kingdom entrepreneur when a lender owns your future earnings. A third limiting mindset is the victim mentality, blaming systems, governments, or your upbringing for your current situation, which is a key manifestation of the poverty spirit. WealthOga is about taking radical personal responsibility. You must replace these destructive beliefs with the truth. God provides seed to the sower, 2 Corinthians 9:10. Your duty is to be a diligent sower, maximizing the seeds, talents, income, opportunities He has given you. This is the mindset shift that precedes any true breakthrough. Tithing, the first step to freedom. Now let's move from mindset to action. The very first and most non-negotiable step to improving your relationship with money is tithing. This is not a tax. It is an act of worship and a fierce declaration of your trust in God as your ultimate provider, directly confronting the scarcity mindset we discussed earlier. Tithing is the first 10% of your increase, and it is your first line of offense against the spirit of scarcity, securing your covenant provision. You are saying, God, I trust you with the remaining 90% more than I trust myself with 100%. The promise in Malachi 3 verse 10 is powerful. God will open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. But here's the key practical principle. You must pay God first. Do not wait until all your bills are paid, because something else will always creep in and take that percentage. Automate your giving before any other expense comes out. This step disciplines your heart to prioritize the kingdom over your immediate fears and guarantees you are operating under an open heaven of provision. The Joseph principle of saving. Once you have honored God with your tithe, the very next step is to pay yourself second by strategically building your savings. Look at the biblical model of Joseph, the ultimate financial planner. He didn't just pray during the time of famine. He had a meticulously executed 7-year plan of strategic saving and resource management during the years of plenty. This is the foundation of practical finance, emergency fund creation. You must stop treating savings like an afterthought, like whatever is left at the end of the month. Use the Joseph principle to build an emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This fund is not for investment. It's your spiritual shield and financial buffer against the inevitable 7 lean years of life: the job loss, the medical emergency, the car breakdown. When you have this fund, you are no longer making emotional, fear-driven decisions when disaster strikes. You are responding from a position of peace and power. Practically, open a high-yield savings account and set up an automated transfer to it the moment you get paid, right after your tithe. Do not touch this money for anything else. Conquering the debt Goliath. If you have high-interest consumer debt, credit cards, personal loans, high APR car payments, you are in bondage, and your relationship with money will always be strained. Debt saps your strength, devours your income, and limits your kingdom capacity. You must now face this debt Goliath with a strategic, aggressive plan. We recommend the debt avalanche method for maximum financial efficiency. This principle aligns perfectly with the goal of being a good steward, minimizing the money wasted on interest. Here's the step-by-step. First, list all your debts, smallest to largest, by interest rate. Second, make the minimum payment on all of them. Third, throw every extra dollar you can find at the debt with the highest interest rate. Once that one is conquered, take the money you were paying on it and add it to the next highest interest debt. This creates a powerful snowball effect, but one that is focused on reducing the most expensive financial burden first. Use tools like Tiller Money or a simple Google Sheet to meticulously track your progress. The goal is not just to pay off debt, but to eliminate the legal right the lender has over your future. Building on the discipline of tithing and debt elimination, you need a system that gives you complete, God-honoring control over your cash flow. You cannot manage what you do not measure. This is where a zero-based budgeting system becomes your kingdom compass. A zero-based budget ensures that every single dollar you receive is assigned a job before the month begins. Income minus expenses must equal 0. This is not restrictive, it's profoundly liberating. It means you are giving your money purpose. It's going to your tithe, your savings, your debt payment, and your essential expenses. For a powerful faith-based tool, use an app like EveryDollar. This app simplifies the zero-based method and helps you visualize your cash flow. Stop spending blindly and wondering where your money went. Every dollar must align with your priorities and your ultimate goal of financial freedom, ensuring you are living intentionally, not accidentally. This is the financial discipline that turns your spiritual desire for breakthrough into a practical reality. One of the most destructive habits to your money relationship is the instant gratification impulse, the consumer culture lie that tells you, you deserve it now. This leads directly to the evil of lifestyle creep, where your spending increases the moment your income does, trapping you in a cycle of needing to earn more just to maintain a higher level of debt. The Bible praises patience and delayed gratification. The wise person saves for the future. The fool spends all they get. Proverbs 21:20. You must look to Daniel and his peers. They rejected the king's immediate delicacies for a long-term strategy of health and wisdom, and they were found 10 times better than all the others. Daniel 1:15-20. Your task is to apply this principle. Live below your means. Fight the urge to upgrade your car, house, or wardrobe simply because you got a raise. Take a portion of that raise and intentionally delay your gratification by allocating it towards savings, investing, or debt reduction. This simple spiritual discipline is the key to accelerating your wealth building past your peers. Investing is kingdom stewardship. For many Christians, investing feels like a dirty word, too closely tied to worldly greed. This is a subtle spiritual error. Investing, when approached with a kingdom mindset, is a faithful act of multiplying the resources God has entrusted to you. Investing, when approached with a kingdom mindset, is a faithful act of multiplying the resources God has entrusted to you. It's moving from simply holding money to commissioning it to work and generate more value. Think of the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. The master praised the servants who took their talents and multiplied them through diligent action, condemning the one who hid his out of fear. Your capital is a talent. To improve your relationship with money, you must view your investment portfolio not as a personal jackpot, but as a generational wealth-building engine, a fund that can support your mission, bless your children, and finance kingdom projects long after you are gone. We are not just working for ourselves, we are working to leave a godly inheritance. Proverbs 13:22. Start with a foundational understanding of low-cost index funds or exchange-traded funds, ETFs. This is a practical, diversified way to get your money working while you sleep, honoring your stewardship assignment to be fruitful. Automate your way to abundance. Willpower is fleeting, but systems are permanent. If you leave saving and investing up to human emotion, you will fail. The secret is to use automated saving and investing as a practical mechanism to ensure your financial discipline is honored every single month. This is the principle of set it and forget it. Right after your tithe and your debt payment, use your bank or a brokerage like Fidelity Go or Vanguard Personal Advisor Services to automatically sweep funds from your checking account into your investment accounts. This leverages the power of dollar cost averaging, DCA, ensuring you buy into the market consistently over time, and removes the emotional decision-making that leads to poor choices. Furthermore, this automation is key to unlocking the greatest force in finance, compounding interest utilization. When you regularly automatically invest, your money starts generating earnings on the earnings, which accelerates your wealth trajectory exponentially. You are not waiting for a breakthrough. You are building one by small, consistent, automated acts of faithfulness. To truly build kingdom wealth, you must move from a consumer mentality to a producer mentality. A consumer's primary goal is to spend and acquire. A producer's goal is to create, sell, and invest. This is the mindset shift. Look at the biblical example of Lydia once more. She was a kingdom entrepreneur. She didn't wait for a handout. She ran a profitable, high-value business that generated the capital needed to serve God's purpose. She was the one producing the purple dye and the cloth that others consumed. Your income source should ideally become a production platform. This doesn't mean you have to quit your job, but it means you must diversify your income by finding ways to create and sell value. Begin exploring income diversification through side hustles, intellectual property, or business ventures. Focus on providing massive value, solve a problem for which people are willing to pay. This producer mindset shifts your identity from someone who is dependent on a paycheck to someone who is creating their own provision and, by extension, providing for others. Seek godly counsel. One of the most dangerous flaws in the journey to financial freedom is the pride that convinces you can figure it all out alone. When your finances become complex, when you move from basic budgeting to significant investment and generational wealth building, you need external, godly wisdom. Proverbs 15:22 is clear. Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. You need to acknowledge the limits of your own knowledge and seek out wise financial mentors, or more practically, a certified financial planner, CFP, who aligns with your Christian values. A professional can help you with complex areas like tax efficiency, risk management, estate planning, and retirement planning that a YouTube video can't cover in detail. This is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of excellent stewardship. King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, had countless counselors. King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, had countless counselors. You are called to steward multi-generational blessing. Do not let foolish pride cause you to miss key strategies that could protect and grow your legacy. Finally, faithfulness requires measurable accountability. You must implement a routine for tracking and reviewing your progress. This is the practical side of being a faithful steward. Your assignment is to conduct a regular financial review, a non-negotiable monthly or bi-weekly check-in where you review your budget, check your progress on debt repayment, and most critically, perform a regular net worth calculation. Your net worth, your assets minus your liabilities, is the truest measure of your long-term financial health, and watching it trend upward is proof that your disciplines, tithing, saving, debt elimination, and investing, are working. You can use free tools like Personal Capital or Mint to aggregate all your accounts and track this metric instantly. This isn't about vanity. It's about faithful reporting. When you track your net worth, you are essentially presenting an account of your stewardship to yourself and to God. What would you want the king to see when he asks, "What have you done with what I entrusted to you?" The ultimate goal of improving your relationship with money is not a bigger house or a fancier car. It is to fulfill the ultimate covenant promise of being a blessing to the generations that follow you. You are working to leave a godly inheritance. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous." This is the highest form of kingdom wealth building, generational blessing. Everything we've discussed, rejecting the poverty spirit, disciplined saving, eliminating debt, and multiplying through investing, is all aimed at this purpose. You are changing the trajectory of your family line, ensuring your children's children start from a position of power, provision, and freedom, not from bondage. Your improved relationship with money is a declaration that the curse stops with you, and the blessing starts now, securing a financial legacy that will fund kingdom work for decades. You are not poor, you are not a victim, you are a steward of the King's resources. Your faith is your foundation, and your diligence is the engine of your breakthrough. Now speak these over your life right now. I am a faithful, diligent steward of God's abundance. My money multiplies for the sake of the kingdom and my family's legacy. The poverty spirit is broken, and I operate under an open heaven of provision. I am a wise producer, not a wasteful consumer. If you're ready to see this biblical wealth manifested, then you need to commit to the WealthOga journey. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next practical guide to building the life God called you to. Let's build.